In today's project, I'm using Easel Pro. I'm going to design two different projects for you. One is an infinitive sign in which I'm going to add text to it, cut it out, and it's a remarkably easy sign to be able to do, and it looks fantastic. The second one is a picture frame. Now, I'm not going to use the picture frame app in Easel. This is simply a heart shape. I'm using two Toolpaths to create this picture frame. Super simple to do, very effective, and I think you're going to like the results. The first project that I want to show you is the Infinity, and I want to come over here to the Project Design Library, and in the search window, we're going to type in Infinity. And we'll hit search. At this point, we can see all different types of designs. You can scroll down and pick whichever one that you like. I think I'm just going to grab this one right here, and I'm going to keep it. You actually have 4 different options, and I'm just going to pick this one. So there is our infinity symbol. So I'm going to stretch this out. And you can do anything you want with it at this point. And actually that looks pretty good. I'm going to hit the edit menu and just center it to the material. And I think I'm just going to grab this handle. We'll stretch it out a little bit more. I like that. So let's edit this one more time. We'll hit center of the material. Now it's perfectly centered in this material that is 7.5 inches by the 24 inches. Now in this case, I want to come over here to the text, and I'm looking for something that will have a cursive type text where everything is linked together and is fairly thick. I want these letters to be fairly thick. So in the previous video, I showed you where I used this one. So that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to type out the word forever. Of course, I need to get rid of text itself. So let me do that. And that's really all I need for that. So forever is going to go right up here in this space. And let's type out love. And that takes care of the 2 words that I want. Now, in a previous video, to be able to make this space in here, I grabbed a rectangle and placed that up into this area right here, stretched it out, and that's the simplest, easiest way to make this work. At this point, I'm going to hit the cut menu, bring this all the way up to 0, and highlight both of these items. I don't want the words in there yet, and we'll hit combine. There is my opening. Now I can actually take the word forever and fit it down into this space. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to slide it in there just the way that I want it. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so we can see this better. And this just takes adjusting it left and right, up and down, until you get the look that you want. Now I'm going to slide this over a little bit more and come into this area, but I also want to rotate it a little bit more. For whatever reason, I just want that little tail in there. Now this all looks real good. Over here on this side, I can actually bring this over just a little bit more. See, I don't have the handles here, so I'm going to bring this forward. Well, let's just bring it to the front. Now we can see the handles. So now I'm going to stretch that back, put it back where it needs to be. Over here, I want to bring this over a little bit more. I want 2 attachment points. I want it to be attached here. I want it to be attached here. And then this whole area right there is attached. So that actually looks real good. So at this point, I can go ahead, highlight these 2 items, and combine it. And now we can do the same thing with the word love. Over here, instead of using the rectangle, I think I want to select the shapes menu and grab the circle, and we'll bring that over. And at this point, I'm going to stretch this out, make an oval. Now this is really the only reason I'm doing this is just to be able to make something a little bit different, to show you that you do have some options. I think that will look good. Again, we're going to set this oval to a 0 cut depth, highlight both of these items, and combine it. And there's my space. Now let's take the word love, slide it up into that space. I'll rotate that again. Let's zoom in so you can see it better. We'll slide that over just like that, and then we will bring this over. Oh, that looks good. I have my connection point at the bottom and at the top. I have this whole side done. That looks excellent. Really doesn't get much better than that. So again, highlight both and combine. Now in the previous video, I used the hearts to make these different ones. But what I want to be able to do, instead of just copying and pasting, let's go back over to the design library. And in this case, I'm going to type in hearts. And we'll hit search. And now we can look for the different heart shapes and find the one that we want. And I want something that's actually all together. And you can see that there is a wide range of different hearts to be able to choose from. And I like this one right here. I'm going to select it. Again, I'm going to select the first one, which is the fill, and that will come into the project. And then I want that right up here in this area. Now I think I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before, and I'm going to use the shapes menu. I'm going to use the circle. I'll bring that over, and this circle actually is about right. So we'll position it right in this area. I want it to be over just a little bit. Again, we'll put the cut all the way to 0. And we will highlight both and combine. So you can see this gets to be repetitious and an easy process. So now we'll take the hearts, we'll zoom again so that you can see it better. And we'll slide the hearts right down into that area. We'll rotate it some. Let's see how we want to be able to position this. Make them a little bit bigger. And we'll have them nestled down inside of here some. And let's see what happens if we rotate it this way some and bring this up. I see I don't have this handle right here. Come up to the edit menu, bring to the front, and now you see that handle. So now I can grab that, bring that right there. So this side looks real good. The other side still needs a little work. I'll zoom in a little bit closer here so I can see what we've got going on. Now I like the left side. There's a little bit sticking out down here, but I want to show you this again. Come down to the edit nodes. You can see all the different nodes. So at this point, I can edit these nodes and just move them over into that area of the heart itself. So you can see how that moved down. Move that one up. We'll put this one back down to the edge of the heart. We'll put this back over. You can see how you can maneuver these pretty easily. These I want to be able to bring back into this area. Now I'm doing these one at a time so I can actually see what I've got going on. Let's see what that looks like. We can clean this up a little bit better. We'll hit the edit points again, and you can see how that's dipping down. We can pull that up. And we can pull that right over to that edge. Now let's see what that looks like. That's not bad. Let's zoom out. And now that looks real good. So just in a matter of a couple of minutes here, we've been able to put this project together and get it ready to be able to carve. Now the only thing I want to do, let's go ahead, same thing. Let's combine. And then we'll change the tool path. I want to be able to go back to the cut tool path. We'll drop this window open, and I want to cut this on the outside. And there is our infinity with Forever Love on there. That looks real good. All the different parts are showing, and that looks good. I'm using a 1/16 of an inch bit to be able to carve this out, and that will give me the detail that I need. The next thing I want to show you is how did I make that little picture frame. Now this frame is actually just a 3/8 inch piece of plywood that's very inexpensive to be able to create this project. Well, real easy. We're going to come back up here. I want to be able to make this 8.5 inches on the x-axis. We're going to make this 6.5 on the y-axis, and this is going to be 0.375 of an inch thick, and that's the plywood that I'm using. So with that set, we can go back over here. And the only thing that I really need to do is put that heart right here. Back to the design library, and I want to type in the word heart. And this time I'll get individual hearts. I like the first one. That is perfectly fine. These all look real good. This is a little bit different shape. We'll just pick this one right here. So that one, we'll bring that up into this area, and we'll make it bigger. You can make this any size that you wish. We can position it right here into this area. Now this is 6.5 inches. So if I have it centered, that is going to be 3 1/4. So if we select this right here, and then on the y-axis, if I put this at 3 1/4, that will center it. So you can use this grid coordinate system over here to place it exactly where that you want it. What we're going to be doing is actually cutting the back side. So I want to be able to slide this over to this area. I still want this at 3 1/4. That gets it centered on the y-axis, and this is 8 1/4. So this is really, or 8 1/2, and that would be 4 1/4 to the center. So think on the x-axis, I want this at 6.25 of an inch. So that have it placed exactly where I want it. So when we flip this over, this will be the area that we want to be able to write on. Now that we know exactly where it's going to be positioned, we need to be able to prepare this area to be able to carve. And to do that, we need the Offsetter app. Scroll down to the Offsetter app. We'll select that. I want to be able to have this come in 0.125. I want it to come in just like that. I want it inward, and I do want to keep the original. So we'll import that into it. So this is the one that we're actually going to be using. So we're going to take this, get it out of the way. We'll take this item and using the center, I'm going to put this on the x-axis, 6.125, and on the y-axis, it was going to be 3.25 of an inch. And just like that, we have it positioned where we need to have it. At this point, we're ready to be able to do the toolpath. I want to get this zoomed in so you can see it real well, and I want to select the inside of the heart. And I want to be able to come over here to the cut path. I want that to be cutting on the inside. We'll set this at full depth so it gets all the way through the material. Now this is showing the tabs. I'm not using tabs. That's a personal decision. So the tabs are gone, and this center section now will be able to drop out. Next, I want to select the outside heart. And at this point, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to select the cut menu, and I'm going to bring this down to 1/4 of an inch. Up until this point, we've always had the 1/16 of an inch bit installed. I changed that to a 1/4 inch bit. And now you can see how the toolpath has changed. This shows where it'll cut down that 1/4 of an inch to create that little shelf for the picture to sit on, and then it will cut all the way through on the other section to be able to remove the center part of that heart. Yes, you could use a 1/16 of an inch bit, but it would just take an awful lot more time to be able to cut it out. Using the 1/4 inch bit will make it much easier and save a lot of time. Now granted, I could have set up the 1/4 inch bit to begin with. It would have probably been easier to be able to show, but this also shows that you can change the bit, which will change the toolpath, and even though we use that Offsetter app, it did not change anything other than the actual toolpath, and this is what I'm going to use to be able to cut this out. Now I'm going to zoom out, get rid of the original heart, and prepare this to be able to cut. This is a close-up of what it looks like. This dark gray area is the portion that's going to cut down the 1/4 of an inch and create that shelf. And then that black line is the toolpath that will cut all the way through the heart itself, opening up that window. So that way you'll be able to drop the picture right in, and this creates a very simple picture frame that you can do with any shape. So again, this project is only going to take about 10 minutes to be able to cut out, and you have a picture frame now that is going to work, and you can just cut out the picture and put it in. Next, we'll flip this over. We'll take it over to the laser, and we can put in whatever text we want on the front side. When you design a particular project, make sure that you save it in the art library. I have quite a long list of different items that I have in different categories. And what I do typically is I will save under jobs completed, so I can go back and repeat different jobs that I've done for people and family and friends. And right here I have the monogram, and what I'm going to do is use this one right here today and be able to engrave it on this picture frame. And this is the space that I have that's available to be able to do the engraving. And I just wanted something real simple for this engagement party that we are having. And when you save these projects, it's so easy just to be able to go back, pull them up. If you want to make any alterations, you can. It's real easy to be able to do. And if you want to design something brand new, well, you can do that too. Just remember to save it. But I have this painted now, and I have several coats of paint on it, and I want to be able to mask this off, because when you engrave this, you can get some of the ash out on the paint, and I don't want that to happen. By masking this off, that helps to protect the surface and makes a very clean project. So I'm just going to use some blue painter's tape and mask the area off. When I'm using multiple pieces of the tape, I want to try to have it where it butts right to the adjacent piece. I really don't want to overlap it because that literally can change how it engraves. So I take a little extra time and make sure that it's butted right up to the adjacent piece of the tape. And that's really all that's necessary. Now, because I'm using the current position as the center, I'm going to mark the center of this, and then the text will be able to fit right into this area. Because I have the tape going all the way up to the edge, and that gives me my total area that I have shown in the computer, I can simply use the tape as a reference point right here and the corner on the other side and mark my center point. And then do the same thing on this side. And that will give me the center of this project for engraving. Then to line this up, I'm just going to put this right down here. I want to make sure these little pins are not in the way. I don't want it to be raised up artificially. All right. I'm going to raise this up out of the way just a little bit because I had some thicker wood for the last project. First thing I want to do is line it up and get it square to the gantry. So I can put that right there. Bring the frame up to the base of this. Do the same thing on the other side. That's actually really good. I need to move that back just a little. And then slide the laser over and bring that right up to where the crosshairs are. Now let's set the Z height. On the X tool, we have this little kickstand right here. I'm going to put that down, lower the laser down until that touches. And we're ready to be able to engrave this. Now, one of the things that I always like to do is frame the project first. Now, taking this extra step to frame it is really just that. It is an extra step, but to me, it's a very important step because by framing the material where it's going to be engraved, it actually verifies that what I have showing in the computer is exactly what's going to happen on the material itself. And oftentimes I will do this twice just to make sure. If I need to make any adjustments, I can do this because I'm looking at all four sides of the cut area to make sure that it's exactly where I want it. Once I'm satisfied with the placement of the material on the laser bed, then I'm ready to be able to hit the start button and engrave this very simple text. With the framing operation completed, I can now hit start and engrave this project. Now, like I said, you can make these plywood frames or you can purchase them for a small amount of money. So it depends on the tools that you have available to you, and in some cases the time that you have available as to how you want to make these. I'm using the Air Assist to be able to help to engrave this, but even with the Air Assist, you're still going to get some of that residue onto your project if you don't mask it off. I really like using the masking tape to be able to protect that surface. And in just a couple of minutes, this project is finished, and now I can remove it from the laser and we can take a look at it. Now, I use this masking tape primarily for the painted surfaces, so I don't have to get involved in trying to clean that up, because it can be, quite frankly, a pain in the neck to clean up a painted surface with that smoke residue. Now, even with the Air Assist on, you can see some of that residue on the tape, and that's what I wanted to avoid. I don't want that on the paint itself. So now, when I peel this off, it makes it where it's completely clean. A little bit of cleanup now on the center of the letters. Then the last step, we'll just take this little pick and clean off the rest of these, just like that. And I think you would agree, that looks pretty good. Now if you wanted to put names down here, you could actually put names down there. Again, you're only limited by the creativity and what the person wants. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for watching this video. I want to thank the subscribers. I want to thank all of you for just stopping by and visiting and looking at this video, hoping that you had learned something. And I want to give a special thanks and shout out to the Patreon family. You guys are amazing, and the support that you give this channel is remarkable. And I really, really do appreciate it. If you like the video, by all means, thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe right down there and hit that bell notification. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next project, whatever that happens to be. So for now, I'm going to say bye-bye to everyone. Look forward to seeing you real soon again.